What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is Legendary Season 3, Episode 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. No, 1, 2, 3. Episode 5. Oh, Lord. This is Episode 5. So this is the anime ball. Excuse me. So this is the anime ball. Now, what they have to do, and our guest judge this week is Bob the Drag Queen. Y'all know I love me some Bob, okay? I stand for Mr. Bob. So the way this is going to work is, in the performance, there has to be an epic battle using one of the elements of Vogue. Now, the Superior House from last week, which is the House of Juicy Couture, they get to choose the Vogue element for each house, right? So, here we go. And then, of course, there'll be a category at the end where people can earn an extra 5 points. So, the first team to go up is Juicy Couture, and they gave themselves dips. And they said, listen, we didn't give ourselves the easy one. We gave ourselves one that we would have to work at, you know, and still have to come up with something great. So, they, and of course, they have to have the element of martial arts. So the story they were telling was a high school where the teacher is, you know, the anime character, and the kids, the rest of the house were the kids. Listen, once again, they got my attention from the beginning. I loved the costumes. They had the primary colors. Each costume looked like it was like a Catholic school version, but one was blue, one was yellow, one was green, one was red. And then the teacher was very much anime, very animated. And we had my only complaint was, at first my only complaint was there wasn't enough dips, but then I went back and looked at it again and I listened to the challenge again. So the whole performance didn't necessarily have to have dips, just the battle scene. So when I went back and I looked at it again, I was absolutely here for it. They had this whole situation where they jumped off the desk into a dip and spin and twirl and flip, and the fight scene was epic. The fight scene was absolutely epic, and it kept my attention the whole time. I wouldn't have been mad if the judges had given them another perfect performance. But Kiki gave them a 5. Leomi gave them a 9. I mean, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Everybody gave them 9s. They didn't get any 10s. They got 9s all the way down. And so they didn't get a perfect score. They got a score of 45. Then we had the House of Revlon. My notes for the House of Revlon was that the spins were slow. I did like their costumes. It wasn't enough spins for me, but overall it was a decent performance. But again, I think the House of Revlon, the bar has been set, and so we're looking for a certain thing. And again, it was decent, but it didn't wow me. Like they've been doing. Leomi gave an 8, Law gave a 7, Jamila gave an 8, Bob gave an 8, Kiki gave an 8. I should have just said everybody gave an 8 except for Law, but anyway. Now here's where it got spicy. Yogi Yamamoto. They did the 7 Deadly Sins, which I didn't know was anime. I knew it was like a martial arts movie, but I didn't know it was anime. But I don't really know what anime is. I learned a lot about anime in this episode, because I didn't know Street Fighter was considered anime. So you learned something new. Now they had to do floor performance. The beginning, they had a fight scene at the beginning I absolutely loved. It was downhill from there. Their performance, the floor performance was sloppy. I said I didn't really understand the story that they were telling. The timing was really, really off, right? But we know that they give a good performance. Like, we know that they've been consistently one of the top houses. But they just had, look, everybody has an off day, and they had an off day. And this, so we have Law gave a 7, Leomi gave a 7, Jamila gave a 6, Bob gave a 7, Kiki gave a 7. So their score was a 36. But here's what happened. Jamila used her gag flag, so they're saved. But, baby, the mother of the house got into it with Leomi, talking about, I know she don't like me. I know it's certain judges up here that don't want to see us here. There are certain judges that don't want to see us win. And they were like, well, who? Who you talking about? Like, go on and tell it. And she was like, Leomi. Leomi was like, girl, what? Naomi said, listen, I ain't got no, listen, I'm only here to see good ballroom, okay? My only issue is to get ballroom, is good ballroom. And she was like, you're not the only legend. I am a legend too. I am a legendary as well. And Naomi was like, oh, okay. And what I love is that Naomi was so unbothered, baby. She was flipping her wig like, girl, okay, whatever. Because at the end of the day, you may very well be legendary, but Naomi is a judge and you are contestant. And Naomi was like, listen, I'm passionate about ballroom. And at the end, they ended up hugging it out. I mean, Naomi got up and gave her a hug, and she hugged, and she was like, listen. She said, listen, I'm sorry. I just get very passionate. I'm very passionate about what I do, and, you know, I apologize. So she did apologize, but baby, ooh, it got spicy, honey. It got spicy. Okay, so then we had the House of LaBeija. LaBeija had Duck Walk. Again, I had slow, sloppy. Something is missing. Something is missing. I said in my last review, something with LaBeija is missing. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the magic ingredient is. I don't know, but something is missing with LaBeija. Kiki gave an 8, Law gave a 6, Naomi a 7, Jamila a 7, Bob a 8, for a total of 36. Then we had the House of Machiavelli. Remember last week they had that big blow up with Law. They came out, they gave Street Fighter. Theirs was Catwalk. I like their costumes. There was a very clear story, but it was still a little slow for me. But Bob gave a 7, Kiki a 8, Naomi a 8. Law gave them a 9, honey. They went from damn near get ready to fight on the stage to Law giving them the highest score of the night from the judges. Jamila gave a 7, so that gave them a 39. So for the first time in 3 weeks, they are not in the bottom. They are not in any danger of going home. Well, sort of, because with the extra 5 points at the end, they kind of still were in danger of being in the bottom, but not because of their performance, right? They were actually one of the higher scores. Then we had Alpha Omega. They did Dragon Ball Z. They had hair whips, which was really shady for Juicy Couture, because everybody on their team, first of all, remember, Alpha Omega is a team of all men. And all of them are bald. So not only did they have to do hair whips, child, they got to put on wigs and make sure that the wigs don't come off and all kinds of stuff. I didn't like their costumes. I didn't understand the story they were telling. And the hair whips were sloppy. It looked like they were just whipping their hair for no reason. There was no rhyme or reason. First of all, the wigs were bad. Let's start there. Let's start that y'all went and found the worst wigs that y'all could find and threw on y'all head, because those wigs were horrid. Okay? Now, I get it. You don't want to put a whole lot of money into something you only going to use once and throw it away. I get that. But, baby, I feel like we could, I feel like we could have done something more with those wigs. But anyway, and there was no choreography to it. They would just whip. We're just going to, whip our hair as many times as we can whip our hair and see what happens. So, Law was actually upset. He said, I feel disrespected. Like, I saved y'all. I used my gag flag because I believed in y'all, and this is what y'all bring me. And let me say this about the gag flag. No, yes, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. For me, the purpose of the gag flag is to save to save somebody who is better than what they presented. They had a bad day, they had an off day, it just wasn't hitting. Like Yogi Yama them. Jamila using her flag this week in this episode to save them, I feel like was the appropriate use of the gag flag. But you use your gag flag to save LaBeija. You use your gag flag to save Alpha Omega. And they are not, like, just, they end up disappointing you because the next week they're right back at the bottom because that's just who they are. They're just not there. Anyway, we're going to get there, child. We're going to get there. Kiki gave a 7. Law gave a 4, baby. A 4. Naomi a 8. Bob a 6. And I don't even have Jamila's score here. I don't even know what she had. It don't matter. With that 4, they at the bottom. So the challenge was the beat to beat challenge, right? So first everybody came out and they went against each other, and they had to, move on the beat of the music, and they had a silhouette behind them. And then the second part of the challenge, for the people who got past that, then they had to do a mirror. They had to have somebody from their house behind them, and basically it was a choreographed, thing. So first we had Nuno Revlon against Adam Alpha Omega. Revlon went to the next step. Then we had Dada Juicy against Jada Machiavelli. Juicy won that. Zenith LaBeija against Luz Yamamoto. Yamamoto won that. So then Revlon, Juicy, Yamamoto, they're facing off. Let me tell you something. I don't know if it's because Juicy was in the middle. I don't know what it was, but I could not take my eyes off of Juicy Couture during this part of it. Okay, they were married. Now they weren't perfect, but the moves. See, again, I said this before. Sometimes the complication of the choreography warrants the higher score, even if you don't fully execute. And they weren't always in perfect sync, but because the moves that they were doing were so over the top and so complicated, it still made you be like, oh, they dipping and twirling and twisting and flipping, and everybody else is just kind of doing a little hand performance, doing a little footwork. They were doing more. They were bringing more. And so because of that, baby, they got my vote, and they got the judges' vote too. So they got the extra 5 points, and of course they are once again superior house. So the bottom house ends up being LaBeija and Omega. The two houses that y'all use y'all gag flag to save are the two houses that are in the bottom, and now they battling for best. And I'm gonna be honest with you, that battle was absolutely horrid. It wasn't worse than the battle from the first episode, but baby, it was damn near there. And again, maybe we're spoiled. Maybe we as viewers and the judges are spoiled, because baby, that first season, the way those teams was battling and leaving it all on the floor, the blood, sweat, and tears, literally people flipping and dipping in heels, climbing up the catwalk and jumping off like the things that they were doing in those battles in the first season, and hell, even in the second season, I'm not understanding what we doing. And honestly, I was over it. And Laomi, actually, when it got to Laomi, she said, listen, I can't choose because I don't think either one of y'all deserve my vote. And she literally got up and walked off. She was like, I'm not doing this. Now, Law only chose Alpha Omega because that's who he used his gag flag on. Because he was like, listen, that's really the only reason why y'all getting my vote, is because I do believe in y'all. It's something about y'all that I like, but it ain't because of that battle. So Alpha Omega stays and LaBeija goes home. But again, if both of them had gone home, my feelings wouldn't have been hurt at all. That battle was horrible. I don't feel like either one of y'all cared to stay. The way that battle went down. Anyway. So that was episode 2. I mean, episode 6. Child, I can't keep up. Episode 6. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.